I feared perhaps you had heard things about me and your cousin Hannah.
I said I do not listen to gossip.
How splendid you are.
Of course, if you wish to tell me about it, I can scarcely prevent you from doing so.
Well, she wheedled me into a courtship, I fear, and when I failed to propose, she put it about that she had jilted me.
Would you rather have it said that you jilted her?
Oh, no. No. I will not deny that she disturbed my sleep. But I soon discovered she did not want me as much as another suitor to add to her collection.
Then it is not true that you proposed to her.
Indeed it is not. Though I cannot say what might have been if her cousin Esther had not broken in on us one evening. And I was saved from an early marriage, one that would have led me into obscurity.
Oh, I doubt that a man of your learning would meet such a fate.
My learning? Miss Smith, I have set myself up as a scholar to impress you. No doubt you think I spend all my days in study. Well, that is hardly true.
No?
Yesterday, I wasted an entire morning reading Ovid's Art of Love. And what time was not consumed that way, I squandered in dreaming, and hunting and chatting with my
Mr.
neighbor.
Adams, are you trying to tell me that you are human?
Miss Smith, you do not know how human I am.
Marry Mr. Adams? Has he made you an offer?
No, but he will.
Abigail, you cannot.
Mother, why not? Do you know something that would prevent my accepting him?
Indeed. You've been a frail girl all your life. You're not suited to the hardships of a farmer's wife.
Mr. Adams is a lawyer, Mother.
Of small distinction.
Well, that will not always be the case.
Nabby, your grandfather was Colonel Quincy, one of the most distinguished men in Massachusetts. Your father, though a country parson, is admired by everyone, even in Boston. And your sister's just married a man in a fair way of business. We had greater hopes for you.
I have none greater than Mr. Adams.
So what, pray tell, do you see in the man? Surely not his manner. Why, he is so stiff and awkward. I blush for him. His conversation lacks all the ease and politeness that marks a gentleman. And worst of all, he changes his mood more often than he changes his clothes.
Mother, he loves me.
Well, so would any young man who knew you.
But I do not want the love of any young man. Nor would I have it if I did. Mother, look at me. I am not a beauty like Elizabeth. Nor am I pert and lively as Mary is. I have some small learning of my own and no dowry. Indeed, I have all the qualities to make a spinster, save one. Mr. Adams loves me.
Abby, I cannot bear the thought of your living in such poverty. Why, in summer, a farmhouse is stifling. And if the heat does not sicken you, the horseflies will plague you in your own rooms. In the winter, the cold seep through the cracks in the
Mother,
walls.
that means nothing to me.
Married to a country lawyer, you'll be looked down on by every butcher's wife in Boston.
Mother, please. I shall marry Mr. Adams if he asks me.
No.
Indeed, I shall marry Mr. Adams if he does not ask me.
Go. Abigail, will you say something?
What would you have me say?
That my company gives you pleasure.
How can I take pleasure in the company of a man who arrives with such a miserable expression?
Well, damn it, Abby, what do you expect when you command my whole attention? I ramble about my farm all day, gazing and gaping, thinking only of you. If I open a law book, my imagination carries me to this house. Even at my prayers, I think only of you. And in bed.
Mr. Adams, please.
In bed, my fancy evokes 1,000 scenes of delight, exciting such desires I cannot gratify. This adds to my natural misery 1,000-fold.
Poor Mr. Adams.
It would all be tolerable if I felt I could honorably ask your father for your hand.
Is there some impediment?
Well, aside from my poverty, there's my character. You know I'm vain, fretful, jealous, quick to anger.
Mr. Adams, I will marry you, but on one condition.
Yes.
That you allow me to discover your faults for myself. It is not as though I were perfection. Indeed, I have faults as well.
I know.
What?
I know that you have faults.
Well, if you find some failing in me, then you must let me know so I may study to correct it.
Well, my dear, since you ask me to catalog your faults, there's the way in which you sit.
Indeed.
Yes, you hang your head like a bulrush. You do not sit erect as you ought. It makes you appear far too short for a beauty.
At last.
Another imperfection is that of walking with the toes forward. I believe this is commonly called parrot-toed. It is the reverse of a noble air and sublime deportment. And what is worse, you obstinately persist in sitting with your legs crossed. This ruins the figure and injures the health. It springs, I fear, from too much thinking.
The Redeemer's name be sung through every
You should endeavor to learn to sing. Your voice is as harsh as the screech of a peacock. Thus have I given a faithful portrait of all your spots. Nearly 2 years have I studied for more, but they are not to be discovered. All the rest is bright and luminous.
It was a splendid wedding, Mr. Adams.
Indeed, Mrs. Adams. Was it necessary for the refreshments to be served in the second-best china?
Mr. Adams, that had nothing to do with you. Father will conceal his wealth from the parish so they may not be hindered from making contributions to the church.
He did not conceal it when your sister married my friend Cranch. Then the very best china was used. Moreover, at their wedding, he preached a sermon on the joys of married love. At our wedding, he spoke of the sufferings of parents. No, in every way, our wedding was less than that of your sister and my friend.
Mr. Adams, you are wrong. Surely you noticed my mother.
Well, one could hardly overlook her for the sniveling and the storm of tears.
Indeed. At our wedding, Mother cried twice as much as she did when my sister married Mr. Cranch.